The Black Fat Femme Podcast is a production of iHeartRadio and Dr. John Paul, LLC. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Black Fat Femme Podcast, where all the intersections of identity are celebrated. I am one of your hosts, John, also known as Dr. John Paul. And it is upsetting to me and my homegirls that the cost of everything continues to go up while our wages do not. Like, can somebody please make it make sense? And I mean sense as in CENTS. Make it make sense, honey. Why is a bag to send a book $11 at the UPS store? 11 doll heads.
Damn.
You know, they went up, and the other thing, the thing that gooped me the most is the idea that Arizona Iced Tea said 2 years ago, we are not going to raise our prices because this is who we are as a company. We want you to be able to afford the 99 cents iced tea. Bitch, you know they went up to $1.29.
Not too much of my girls, Arizona. Okay, girl, the tariffs. Not too much of my girl, Arizona. They've been fighting inflation forever,
I said,
ever.
I said, oh my God, it's a shame how they mess around with my heart. It's a shame, the way they hurt
Mess around with
me.
my, please.
We're going to be talking a lot about finances today, and so I just felt that was the perfect way for us to start. But how are you, my love?
You said if you can't have Arizona tea 99 cents, what can you do?
You can't do
It's
nothing.
upsetting me, my homegirls. It's the Bella Noche of drinks. What do you mean?
Where the fuck can you go?
No, where can you go? Hey, lovies. It is your bestie, Joho, aka Jordan. Actually, remember, it's your bestie, Jordan, aka Joe, who girl is early in the streets. Now, I'm so thrilled to be up today early with y'all. It's 8 a.m. on our side, and the day is kicking off for me, and I'm here for it. AKA, the day is actually taking me down, and I'm already fighting for my life. Oh my God. Although, I'm not gonna lie, it's raining outside, and I'm kind of here for it. It's like a nice, cool morning. It's been humid. I don't know if it's been humid for you, John, but it's been like
it's very
83% humidity every day at like 78 degrees. So it feels like 87 and I'm just, it's been nasty. So the fact that it's raining right now, I'm like,
disgusting.
It's gonna be so cute and nice. I'm here for it.
Yeah, it's giving we're officially in fall, which I know we're not. I know that we're still getting summer temps, but we're moving towards fall.
The PSL returns. Oh my God, I cannot wait.
We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
Yes, we're gonna have so much pumpkin spice. And I can actually have it this year because my sugars are under control.
Period. A1C where?
Yes. But with that being said, I'm excited to tell y'all about the guest we have coming on the show today. She runs the award-winning Brown Ambition podcast, a show that focuses on inspiring women of color to build wealthy lives, honey. Healthy, wealthy. You know, your health is wealth. How you do it, you know? And she means that in every sense of the word. And then they support this notion of making bold and brilliant life choices. I think that's also something we don't talk enough about, this idea of making bold choices. And I'm so glad that our girl is here to talk to us about it. Please give it up for our girl, Mandi Money. How you doing, sis?
Hey, how are y'all doing? I'm so happy to be here.
I'm happy to have you here. We are happy to have you here.
Girl, that part.
Yeah.
It's not 8 a.m. where I'm at, so I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
And
you were sipping on your coffee and everything. Girl, I was a little jealous.
I know. I was like, she got coffee already? I cannot wait. Oh my God.
East Coast
but now that I realize that it's PSL season, I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna order me a little PSL moment. I don't know from where, but I'm gonna find a place to get me some ESL. Ooh,
I had one yesterday from Coffee Bean. I sure did.
Congratulations on your sugars being down. That is just, listen, we take our wins where we can get them.
Literally,
no, for
literally
real.
That.
It's not easy
literally
in these
that.
streets, girl.
No. I'm just under I live by the rule by like, if you just have Greek yogurt with everything, then your sugars will be fine. Chocolate cake and some Greek yogurt on the side.
Okay.
Grande pumpkin spice latte, a little Greek yogurt. It'll take care of that.
Balance.
The mixed vapor rub of my life.
I'm weak. Okay. Well, we are thrilled that you're
Greek
here
yogurt
with
is the vapor rub of my life. I love it.
Just a little Greek yogurt on it.
Write it down, John. That's title right there. Title.
Yes.
Mindy, we're so thrilled to have you with us today, and we're excited to learn from and with you. We're gonna kick off our show we do every week with our Still Here segment, and today's show will be focusing on the bold and brilliant choices of wealth. We'd love to
Mhm.
ask you, when did you start being serious about your finances, and how did you receive training on it to do so? Did you receive training at all? Like for so I'll start. I'll start. We'll pass to you, Mindy. They'll pass to John. I'll say for me, like I wasn't so serious about my finances until the pandemic. Like I didn't have like a big girl job until I graduated from school. So it was like
Mm.
2018. Anyways, and 2 years later was the pandemic. And while I haven't when I first had my big girl job, I definitely was like I grew up with a parent who managed money well and was always trying to help me understand how to manage money as well too. Like my mom particularly, she was able to buy her own house in her 30s. She's always like saved up really well when she was working. She was a corporate girl, often a single girl having to do stuff herself. So she really strived to help me teach me that. And when I had my first job, I was my first like big person job. I had many jobs before, but my first like big girl job.
No job is a
Uh,
small job.
exactly.
Oh,
Right,
yeah.
right.
T
Thank you.
T.
Correct. You're right. You're right. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
My first higher paying job,
When you were able to
I
put
was
cheese on your
able.
burger.
When it came with
Okay.
401k
Okay.
and maybe some healthcare. So
That
it's
part,
Yeah.
me.
yes, yes, and some healthcare,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Okay.
But
We're
but
talking a
during the
package.
pandemic, while the pandemic was like rough for me mentally, I was financially in the best position ever. Like I was stacking
Mm.
money away because I wasn't going out. I wasn't
A
traveling.
lot of people were.
Well,
Hell
like
yeah.
it was really amazing. And that's when I was like, oh, like I really need to be serious about like that's when I realized I never want to have like less than this amount in my savings account because I want to make sure
Right.
I have an X amount of months savings for like for rent if something ever happens to me or if I lose my job. And
Mhm.
so that was just like really amazing and also a huge privilege, right? Like it's a privilege to be able to have that. But it was also interesting because I think it was also like by my income, I was like still like living paycheck to paycheck in some ways. But like still like having the ability to save during that time was really special. And to be frugal during that pandemonium was who child. That was just
Mm.
like a
Yeah.
lot. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's what was for me. Maybe I'm curious to hear about you in this
Mm.
process.
Oh gosh. Yeah, so I was a Great Recession graduate. So I
Mm-hmm.
graduated from
Mm.
college with a degree in journalism, print journalism at that. So your girl was not I was not supposed to survive very long in these
Yeah.
these streets. And I quickly had to figure my shit out. I took like an eat, pray, love kind of break after school, which I'm very proud of myself despite what was happening in the economy. My gut just said, I don't want to be in a swivel chair right now. I don't want to be
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I had worked so hard in college. I like paid my way through and I worked 2 jobs, on top of going to classes because I didn't want to
Same.
take out
Yeah.
student loans. And a lot of my friends were not living that lifestyle, but I was like working through the summer. And yeah, after 4 years, I was like, I just want to have fun. So I traveled and I came back to the recession was raging. I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia. And Atlanta, it was old Atlanta then. It was not popping like it is now, especially not
Mm-hmm.
for jobs, like for people in media. And I was fortunate enough to get an opportunity to move to New York and work for a magazine. And I was like, "Oh my god, I'm the exception, and
Mm.
this recession can't touch me. I am a snowflake," all that. 2 months later, honey, I was let go.
Oh,
And yes,
damn.
yes.
Damn.
So and that for me, it's not that I needed a wake-up call because I was raised by a single mom and we were
Right.
not well off. Things were very tight. I have, I'm one of 4, and my mom,
Mm-hmm.
raised us ranging from, like, age 6 to 15,
Mm.
when
Mm.
the parents got divorced, and so I definitely had this fear of being financially insecure, and then that layoff on top of it pissed me right on off because I was like,
Right.
I'm trying to not end up like that, but
Right.
I barely even gotten started and I'm already kicked out on my butt,
Mm.
and,
Mm-hmm.
I bounced back. I was able to find another job. It was very stressful, and then I was like, "Let me use my career path and see if I can't merge my 2 passions, my passions for journalism and storytelling and media with financial, um, personal finance and investing and wealth building. And
Mhm.
I didn't really know how that was going to manifest, but Business Insider was coming on the scene at the time, and they were starting a personal finance vertical, and I got an opportunity to interview, and somehow, some way, they gave me that job, because I sure didn't have a ton of
Yeah.
knowledge, but
Right.
I could tell stories, I could do
Mm.
journalism,
Mhm.
and that really set me up to, I mean, every day, all I got to do was for free talk to the smartest people in finance and business and ask them all of my
Mm.
questions. And then I got to teach it. So I was learning it twice. I was like getting the information,
Mhm.
and I was
Mm.
packaging stories, and that really was my kicking. That was my launch pad. It was a wrap after that. By the age
Yeah.
of
Mm.
I started my 401k when I was 24, and I love that girl so much. She was
Mhm.
so smart, y'all. She really set me up.
Mhm.
Yes, come on, past you,
Yes.
past Mandy. Say, I got you, sister. Yes.
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 Past Mandy is looking out for the
Now
current
present
Mandy,
Mandy is a
and we
very different
love
story.
well, we are
Present
all
Mandy
in
is
it
so grateful
together.
because I done had some kids. I had a very
Mhm.
different experience during the pandemic. Everything got more expensive.
Mm.
So yeah, but through it all, my passion really began with like, how can I take care of myself?
Yeah.
And it remains to this day like that.
Mm.
That's actually really very similar to my journey as well. And I love that you say that, like, how do I take care of myself? That was something I was always thinking about in the back of my mind. And this question, so I'll say this very transparently for those who are listening. There used to be a time in my life where anytime people would talk about money, I would immediately run. Finances
Mm.
literally made my stomach drop,
Mhm.
because I just knew, and this is the thing that I think that we don't talk enough about when we talk about finances, right? Like, the system for a lot of marginalized people, the system is set up for us to be broke. Like, even in the idea of, like, this whole idea of like saving and getting a good job and all of that, like, we're still not paid what we should be paid as marginalized people. We're still not given opportunities to understand finances the way. And so, for because of that, I used to get so upset and I used to be so frustrated that I didn't even want to engage the conversation of finances, because it literally enraged me when I thought about how systematically we were basically set up to be poor.
Mhm.
And when I say we collectively, what I'm talking about is Black women, queer women, queer cis people, like queer, trans people, non-binary people. Like, we were just, it always felt that. And so for me, what really kind of was my wake up call was when so for many folks who know me and know my past history, I used to work on campus. I was living on campus, but at the same time, people thought, oh, well, you're not paying rent. You should be stacking all of your money. And it was like, actually, no, I was like taking care of my family, and I was also taking care of me at the same time. So I
Mm.
never had any money. I was always, basically always broke. My credit was shot. It just, I was in a very, very bad place. And
Mm.
then like, when I started looking for an apartment, I started realizing, like, I actually left that job and had to, like, find my own apartment. I started realizing how hard it was, like, for
Mm.
you to find a decent place if your credit was shot.
Mhm.
Um, and it's like, it's not that you can't, it's just there's all of these things that you have to go through in order for you to get an apartment. And so that was kind of like my first real wake up call. It was like, oh my God, I don't want to be homeless again, or houseless
Mm.
again. Like, I got to do something different. And so, once I started, quote unquote, when I went out on my own in 2017, I stepped out on my own and I started actually being able to start saving and getting my credit together, and all of these things. It was like, oh, okay, I actually can figure this out. I can actually study a little bit more. And I leaned into it. I started listening to podcasts that were focusing on finances. I intentionally was listening to Black women talk about finances, like folks like yourself, because I didn't
Mhm.
want it to come from a privileged place, right? A lot of white men give advice, but it's coming from a place of, I've always had wealth. So it's easy for me
Mhm.
to talk about wealth. I wanted to hear from people who were like, I struggled and I went through this and I went through that, and this is how I was able to get over it. And so I really, really wanted to get out of, that was my number one thing, was I just don't want to have bad credit because everyone in my family has bad credit. And I that was my biggest thing. And again, I also want to note, we know that credit is slash was created again as another way to
Mhm.
create oppression around Black people. And so that was something
Mhm.
I also had to learn how to play the game of. But I definitely think about, my experiences of getting bad loans and my experiences of not being able to find a place to live and all of that. And that's why now I'm like super, super, super hell bent on not only just saving, because I'm in the same place. Once I start to see that number dwindle in my savings, are like, ain't no more bags, ain't no more eating out, ain't no more going to the movies, girl. I can't
Mm.
get no popcorn. We gonna have to watch it in the house. And that's kind of the move I'm in right now. But the reality is, I'm very, 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 very grateful to say I've been able to kind of get out of those bad habits. And, I do have a
Mm.
little bit of coin stacked. Credit is definitely looking amazingly better because she up there in the excellent. How
I
you
see that sign
doing?
behind you. What's that
Hey,
say? Up.
Uh,
yeah.
which
Everything
one?
is up. I'm reading that sign behind you. Up, right?
Oh,
Up, oh, up.
up,
Mhm.
up, up. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Everything is
Everything
up.
is up.
Credit score up.
Uh-huh.
Bank balance up.
Uh-huh. Credit score up. Bank account
I wasn't sure
up.
if it was
Yes,
up or it was like
girl.
it was up. If it's up, it's up. Then it's stuck. I don't know which part of up it
I mean,
is.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
all
yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's
yeah.
But it's
multitudes.
all up from here, baby.
We
Yeah.
can chant
Hey.
Yeah.
multitudes.
Do the Cardi dance, honey. If it's up, then it's stuck. Yeah, and so
Yee.
I definitely want to
Mm.
say this. I know the head of this podcast listens to the show. I am so every day I am so thankful for this podcast because it gave me another source of income, and it has
Mhm.
allowed me to be able to do the things that I need to do to survive. And I think that's the thing that we don't talk enough about is opportunity. Like you can't have good credit, you can't have wealth if you don't have opportunity. And so every
Mhm.
day I'm so grateful for not only just the job that I have working with queer youth, but I'm grateful to have a podcast that's not only reaching people but also is putting money in my pocket to be able to save.
Mhm.
And so I'm very, very grateful and thankful for that. So yeah.
Mhm.
One thing I just want to say before I cut to your commercial is just like
Yeah.
what about housing, John, is such a great point because like as someone who owns a home and is a landlord, like I think the folks I've had rent my place, I only have had two people, but like I what I what like I wasn't interested in what their credit score was. Like they just wasn't and it's sad because it really isn't it's an arbitrary tool. Like you use it to like assess risk, but not because it's not like these housing like rental agencies have they have you must have this score because it's really just about like them like assessing their own risk. I'm like, okay, I get assessing risk, but it becomes such a barrier for people. Like there are so
Yep.
many people who actually who can't afford to she can't afford to rent housing, but they won't because of an issue that happened in their past that messed up their credit score. Now,
Yep.
and so it's the immediate write off for rental places. Like, well, your risk is too high. And I'm like, girl, to me, it makes you think of it's such a dispassionate tool, and like obviously it's not meant for nuance and context, but like the
Mhm.
folks that I've had rent are folks that I was like, okay, like I know your credit score is low, okay, let's discuss what that actually means for you. I know you have a job, I know, and also when you run a credit report and if you run someone's credit report in that way, like do like a background check, like you actually get to see all of the financial information, and so
Mhm.
you actually have a lot of information to be like, you know what, girl, like I know you actually have the money to do so. And so I mean, and I want to be really clear, like I'm not giving myself a pat on the back for not using credit reports.
No, I think you ought to.
Like,
I think,
I like I
capitalism is strong.
that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Thank you. I struggle with
Yeah.
the idea of when people say like slumlord, because I'm like, ugh, owning something and renting out, it just feels challenging in general.
Mhm.
But I do for me, like I appreciate, like I know the whole person's circumstance. So I'm like, girl,
Right. Right.
it's okay if your credit score is not high. Like I know, and
Well,
what to me
also the
is
crazy thing is, like, your credit score typically doesn't include on-time rent payments.
Nope.
And when
exactly.
people it's like, if I'm not gonna pay a bill, it's gonna be I'm gonna skip the the
Right? Like,
Victoria's
I'm
Secret
expecting
credit card payment,
I
but
can
I'm
pay
gonna
my
pay my
rent.
rent
I'm
on
paying my
time.
rent,
Which
right?
Yeah.
which I will say, like, because for me, I use Zillow, and so Zillow, what I appreciate about Zillow is, like, if you use their portal, when you pay on time, it will actually
A
report
lot
to
of
the credit,
companies do now. A lot of
which is
Yes,
companies
nice,
that's
do.
true.
right? And but
Mhm.
if you don't pay, then it won't report, which I appreciate. It's just like reporting, like, a late payment, it just won't report at all. And so, like,
Yeah.
and so I'm like, to me, like, it's a gift it's like a privilege to say, like, hey, like, use this portal. When you pay on time, it will reflect in your credit score, and so then that, like, you also can help someone build credit as well, and that to me is like
Yeah.
a big part of the gift. But, like, people who use cursors in that way and, like, use it to deny people, I'm just like, girl, like, you can do better, and you can do different, right? Like,
Yeah.
I had a huge privilege of always having good credit, and shout out to my mom for always the person, like, she had put me on all of her credit cards when I was as was gonna be on credit cards, and, like, that immediately helped me, gain a credit history, and so, like,
Yeah.
I thank her so much
Phew,
for doing
I
that.
wish, girl, because
Ooh,
the way
ooh,
my family was set up, none of that was given to me. I
the
had no
way
idea how to even.
Mhm.
The last thing I'll say before we go to commercial is that it's to, to both of y'all's point, it's extremely expensive to be poor, and that's the thing that
Mhm.
I don't think people truly get is how, like, I mean, it literally it's like, okay, you're making $2,500 a month, and your rent is, and this is just me throwing out arbitrary numbers, right? But
Yeah.
if your rent is $1,000, that only leaves you with $1,500, and then if your car note is $500, and that only leaves you with $1,000, that leaves you with 1,500, but now you're down to $1,000, and so if you have, if you get sick and you don't have insurance, and your copay, or they're charging you $2,000 for a doctor's visit, you're fucked. You know what I mean? Like, that's literally what it comes down to. And that's the stuff I don't think people see is like, it has everything to do with the idea. And that's what I was saying at the top of the show. As much as I was joking, I was being very serious. It is so expensive right now. And I don't think people get that like the wages are not going up. And that's if you even have a wage. I know so many people who, who just don't have a job right now, and
Yeah.
they're frustrated because they're going, it just keeps getting more expensive and I can't afford it, So, what a time to
Oh,
be alive. What a time
girl.
to be
Well,
alive. Mhm.
considering we're talking a lot about money and bills this week, we gotta take a first quick break. We come back with a more with Mandy for our Category segment. More in just a sec.
All right, y'all.
Who's
So to yeah, I know. Whew, yeah,
It's trauma. It really
it
is,
is, yeah. Mhm. It
Those
really
years
is.
where you're living paycheck to paycheck and you are going from bad loan, title loan, pay to, payday loans, like these toxic products, like the stress and the anxiety and waking up with your heart racing. Like I think it is a form of trauma. And I'm wondering, like, now, John, if I can ask you a question, Professor
Yeah.
Hickman,
Yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah.
like, do you feel, even though the bank account is reflecting more money now, do you feel it? Do you feel okay? Safe, you know?
Um, that is a that is a question. No, I don't feel safe. I will say very transparently, I am, especially now, like there was a moment where I was starting to feel really good about my finances. And then I started noticing, the whole rollback on DEI has meant that I'm not getting as many speaking gigs, and I'm not getting as many consulting opportunities. And so
Mhm,
now I'm looking at this idea of, like, I have a full-time job which pays me okay, and then I have this gig, I have this podcast which is great, right? But there's still this idea of, like, people don't seem to understand how expensive it is to live in California. And when I say
mhm,
like, there is everyone's like, "Oh, well, you live even in the Inland Empire." I'm like, "The Inland Empire is expensive now." Like, people, like, there's just people don't get it. Like, there's this thing of, like, yes, I can afford it, right? I'm grateful that I can,
mhm.
but there's still this element of, like, when is the other shoe gonna drop? And I'm always worried about that. So, as
Yeah.
much as I
I
like
am too. I don't
yeah,
ask that
yeah.
to make you feel, I think we're
Mhm.
all feeling that, and I just wanna hold space for people who even just listening to this, like, I think, you mentioned, like, before when you come across financial topics or you hear about finances, you would look the other way. And I think it is so anxiety inducing, and
Yes. Yeah.
the world is so full of other things we can do to like dull that anxiety. And like the hardest thing and most beautiful, the hardest thing about the financial journey is looking at everything and
Mhm.
like looking at past mistakes and looking at what you were, where you are now, and like pushing forward. And I just think it's great we're having any conversation where, as a group, we can sort of like support each other and
Yeah,
have those
yeah.
tough conversations. Sometimes we just need someone to like hold our
Mm,
hand and say,
Yeah.
your past doesn't define you, and
Yeah. I
mm,
thank you for that.
today's a new day.
The hardest thing for me right now, and I will be transparent in saying this, is the feeling of the pressures of I don't own a home. And I can't, like feeling like I'm never gonna ever be able to afford one, right? And everyone's like, well, why don't you move? Why don't you move? You should move away from California. And I'm going, y'all, like, it's so easy to tell someone to move away when you don't have to worry about being black, queer, in a different, in a place where you're not safe,
Mhm.
right? And I tell people all the time, like, the only places that I know for, and it's not even to say that I'm safe in California, because I'm really not. But what I'm saying is that I know, like I always tell people, I stay in California because I know the racism. I understand it. I comprehend it. I know the places in California where I can be, and I know the places in California where I shouldn't be. And it's the I like the dream of mine would be able to move up to San Francisco and be closer to my two best friends up there, and have a home up there, and be able to do what I do here, and all of that is a dream. But I look around and I'm just going like, I don't know if you saw the report that just came out, but California is the most like homes are the most expensive in our country in California.
Mm.
$828,000 is the standard for where we live. And
Mhm.
it's just I beat myself up for it a lot. Like I think
Probably
about,
before taxes too.
yeah, but and that's the thing,
These
house taxes,
property
people were
taxes,
they
motherfucker.
were saying there's a story, I just read it. The whole article was saying that what's eating people up is not the mortgage, it's the property taxes. So you're paying
Mhm.
$4,000 a month for your mortgage now, but
Mhm.
you're also paying $3,000 a month for property taxes. So
Yes.
who in their right mind
It's
has
me, hi.
$7,000? It's me.
Yeah.
I'm the drama. It's me. How do I know that Taylor Swift song when I don't even like her? But yeah, I'm just saying like that's the thing that I think eats me up more than anything is there's
Mhm.
all these things that I should like I look at my bank account and I think about how much money I bring in and I think about it and I'm going, "Damn, you should be able to afford a home and I can't." You know? So because I'm making the
Mm.
choice to stay here and I know people who are listening are probably like, "You should just move." And I'm
But you
like,
know
"I wish it
what's
was that simple."
But you know what? You can also build equity in an investment portfolio while you're waiting for
Mhm.
the housing situation to work out. Like, you could be investing, and
Mhm.
screw anyone who makes you feel bad for renting and not owning a home, because it is not all that. And also, it's a lot of
Mhm.
people who buy homes because of pressure, and they buy at the wrong time, and prices right now are so inflated. I'm fortunate that I'm lucky, I should say, not fortunate. Timing just worked in my favor. I got my house in 2018. I live 30 minutes north of Manhattan in the burbs, and like I got my house in 2018. Mortgage rates were very cute. It was like 3 point or 4 point per something percent. And then the
Mhm.
pandemic hit, and all of a sudden my home value was shooting up. I look like a genius.
mhm, mhm.
But now I'm trapped here with a
They
low
say
interest rate
they
because
say insider pro
I
No,
can't afford nothing else.
wake that up, Andy, because like my interest rate is like
Oh my
there
god.
you will never find I'll never find an interest rate like
So
that
cute.
again. Like on like right, but like
Yeah.
I'll never find that again. It's really challenging. And like John, like let me say, like owning a house owning a house is I imagine it's like you don't see short-term return. Like you just don't see it. And so like all the time I'm like, I did this 'cause I was pressured. And like,
I
sure,
was pressured.
I was I was pressured. I'm like, you know what, like, sure, like
Yeah.
maybe in 10 like in like 5 to 10 years I'll see the return on it. But like
Mhm.
society in the world, the way the world's built isn't giving you space to think about the next 10 years. My thought is,
Right.
girl, can I afford this mortgage in the next 6 months or not?
Mm.
Like,
Mhm.
right? Like, it's like I don't like. not everyone actually has the ability, capacity, or bandwidth to think about like a long-term investment in that way. So it really is
Mm.
challenging. Like I honestly can't say if I know for sure that I think that I think if I would I do it again? I'm honestly not sure. Like, or if I do it again,
Mm.
if I do it again, I would make sure that I'm going to stay in this place for like 10 years and I can afford to do so. Like, because also for me, like
Mm.
having a home and then moving out of it was like also challenging because like I did all this work and I thought, oh, I did the thing that's going to bring me joy. It brought me more debt. It brought me more stress, more
Mhm.
anxiety. You know,
Yeah, I will say
like
you were not the same person when you were living in that house or when you were dealing with yeah, when you were yeah.
for, for,
You're
for
just a totally different person now.
yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
And so I think I do want to I want to share with you and anybody like that idea of that idea of this is what life's supposed to be. I think like I think it's more fallacy than it is fact. And I think that
Mhm.
I don't want anyone to pressure themselves to make that the type of decision because that also decision it also holds you like at the end of the day it holds you for a long time. And I'll be extra clear saying you don't own the house, girl. I don't own the house. The bank owns the house.
Well,
Like I'm still
let's also talk
the
about
bank is
that.
still my
Yeah.
landlord. Okay, I it is a
Mhm.
title holder and lien holder. I still have to pay the bank for that space. And so I think
She said Washington Mutual.
well, I miss me some Wamu. I used to love me some Wamu.
Yes, yes,
But
for
like,
a certain person of a certain age. Yeah.
please,
Mhm, mhm,
just to be for real, like it is. I think if people want to and they can do it, great. But like, I don't
Mhm.
actually think, especially in the way the world's set up now, there's so many things you have to do like, as the owner that like some things are handled. Like sometimes it's actually easier and more convenient for someone's life to have a rental because
Oh,
things are
like,
covered.
all the
But
time it's easier to
yeah,
be rental.
like yeah, like it's yeah,
Maddie
like
All
said,
the
let's
all the
talk
time.
yeah.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah, but you got
Mhm,
to
yeah.
invest. Like, I'd love to talk about wealth building because I think, especially in underserved communities, well, shit, we're all black, especially in black communities, black neighborhoods, black
Mhm,
families. Like, there's not a lot of like home ownership does feel like the only option. Like, oh, but that's what it means
Mhm.
to be. If it's not a house, then it's like other things. It's a car, it's jewelry, it's nice things. And I think that there's not enough education about like the silent wealth that happens that's invisible, that happens in
Mm.
your portfolio, that happens, when you learn how to invest and, make your money work for you. And I do think like, especially like I'll speak for myself growing up in Atlanta. I didn't really have any financial education from either side of my family. My mom is white, my dad's black. And it felt like, damn, if only someone had just taught a little bit, taught a little bit about the
Mhm.
401k, taught a little bit about, index funds and how to make your money work for you, all of us could have been so much better. And I wouldn't feel this like enormous pressure to like help and, be the one who like did okay. And I don't like that for us. I want us, and I think one of the good things about the pandemic was like there was a ton more interest in personal finance content and
Mhm.
education. Um,
mhm,
but then you see in like black and brown communities, it became about crypto and let me go buy a commercial truck and let me start a trucking business. Let me do drop shipping. And it's not, it just didn't feel as holistic as it could be in terms of wealth
mhm,
building. And that's what I like to focus on at Brown Ambition. It's like we talk about making your money work for you. I love talking about like, creating different revenue streams and really seeing yourself as a business in and of itself as you navigate your career.
yeah,
Um, so that you can get to a place where you feel like maybe you don't have all the physical trappings of wealth, but like you have that core of like, oh, I'm gonna be okay. And
yeah,
that to me is like real
mhm,
wealth.
mhm, yeah. Um, so I wanna I think what I love about part of your framework is that you talk a lot about this idea that we all deserve better opportunities and to be paid your worth without having to always kind of pay your dues. And we've
Mhm.
talked about this in a lot of our own conversations. This idea of like the oppressive framework of you got to pay your dues before you actually, and it's like, and you were even talking about that, right? Like, I think that was something we saw in the early recession of 2007, 2008, and we hear this too now. Millennials have not paid their dues. And so, and it's like, girl, can you just give me the check? I have 3 degrees. Can we knock this off? Just run me my
Yeah.
money. I guess to kind of put us back on track, how do we help people get out of the mindset of having to pay their dues before they can find this success or that they can find the money to be able to do the things that they want to do?
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about that in terms of your career, I think, and
Mhm.
I'm obviously a Black woman, and I don't have y'all's experience, but I know that Black women, like, we often are expected to be so grateful to get anything that the sense that we would ask for more really infuriates people. It'll piss them
Mhm.
right on off if we're like,
Mhm.
"And now what else can we have?" Or, "Now I deserve this as well." It's like, "But you're here. You got a paycheck. Like, why are you asking for
Mhm.
more? How
Mhm.
dare you?"
Mhm. Mhm.
And I got very tired of that quite quickly, in my career, and I think for me, what helped was I had a great mentor who since passed away. The
Mm.
great he was a journalist from Atlanta, and his name was Ray. And he's the first one when I was negotiating my salary at Business Insider and I was trying to, like, ask for more money, I had been promoted, like, my editor got fired, and I swept in like Game of Thrones, like, "Give me the throne." And wasn't that serious, and I was
Please.
trying to
Mhm.
negotiate. And I remember going to Ray and, like, an email and asking him what I should say, and he was like, "Listen, you can ask for more money, but you need to be looking for other opportunities at the same time,
Mhm.
because if they
Mhm.
say whether they say yes or they say no, you don't wanna just leave it up to your one single employer to determine your earnings potential." And he really taught me a great lesson in looking beyond my employer, not feeling the sense of loyalty and the sense of, "Oh, but I if I just stay and I keep ticking their boxes, I'll get what I deserve." I think that's another way of, like, paying your dues is I'm gonna work my way up from, like, this level to the next level, and you're, like, listening at the all hands, you're listening to your manager, "Here's what you gotta do in the next 6 months
Mhm.
to get this, blah, blah, blah." It's all bullshit, really,
T.
because companies will find money if they think they're gonna lose you. They'll find money real quick.
Mhm.
They'll throw out that promotion,
Mhm.
step-by-step plan real fast. So, I think we need to teach more people of color in general how to keep their options open professionally so that they can attract multiple offers, they can get competing offers, and so that you're
Mhm.
constantly keeping a stream of knowledge about what your real worth is, so that no
Mandy
one at
said,
your
"Each one
company can
teach
tell you what
one."
it is. What was
I
that?
love it. I said, "Mandy said, each one teach one."
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I like really like I love how organic this conversation has been thus far,
Yeah.
and like I have so many questions I want us to ask you honestly because I think what one thing I think about is I wish we could go into like how do you negotiate your salary? That is a skill that people
We don't
just
have
like
time for that? Why can't we do that? I love talking about that. That's
we
one
do
of my
have to
favorites.
time keep the show, unfortunately, a little bit.
Mhm.
Okay.
But I mean, what I think it
Well, I
means
have
though,
a
right,
whole
is that like
workshop called the Maker Method.
I was just like, I think
Tell
what it
us,
means
yes.
Yeah.
is that we can what we can do is that one we have you back, two like maybe we find like other ways like to work with you, right? Like we're constantly thinking of things to create more content and things are really helpful. And I think like this would be a great thing, especially especially knowing that our community like is black fat femme, so black queer and trans folks who exist at the level of like who exist at the level of being like underserved and under resourced
Yeah.
by the world. So I think like my mind's burning with a lot of stuff that I think we would definitely love to work with you on. I think I do have a question.
Yeah.
Because you've been doing this work for over a decade. getting your start, as you said, in personal finance, running at Business Insider, and then you joined Yahoo Finances vertical, which I have read your stuff many times. I will say,
Same.
that
Mhm.
like
Oh, really?
Yahoo Finance vertical, what to me was my game changer during the pandemic, where I had time to read and was like, oh, I like this is how me understand so much more. So having had millions of hits across all your pieces of content, what
Mhm.
do you think has been the easiest advice for people to integrate into their lives without having to have tons of money, especially in times like now where it feels like the money ain't money like it used to,
Mm.
anymore.
Ooh.
I think we could all well, this is the thing. All the personal finance advice that I wanna say, and I've struggled with this, it all feels like bullshit in this time this day and age. One of my
Yeah.
favorite things to talk about previously was lifestyle inflation and how, we can avoid, like, eating up our additional earnings. You start earning more money, then you start buying nicer things, you get the nicer apartment.
Hey, hey, hey. Don't
I'm just
come for me. I just
saying.
because I
Start
just
getting your
bought a
nails
I
done
bought
twice
2
a month
bags.
instead of once a month. Lifestyle inflation is real, and it's lifestyle creep or whatever you wanna call it, and I
Right, right.
wanna like, that's my one of my things that and listen, I have 2 kids, and there's nothing worse for your finances than having them kids, I'll tell you that right damn now. Like,
Mhm,
I love
mhm,
them babies, but I'm like, "Wait, I was good at this before, and now the money is gone."
Mm.
The
mhm.
mortgage and the daycare bill are almost the exact same cost, and I live in New
Oh,
Oof.
York, so let that just
Oof.
sink in. But anyway, so I was gonna say lifestyle inflation, but then you
mhm.
have a world where we have these tariffs that are causing all this like inflation that's not within our control. So we're just trying to buy the same damn eggs and bread at the store. And now it's like the
Mhm.
inflation is
Girl.
happening to us. Um, so one thing I want to say is this is not normal times. This is the time for if you're stressing, you have debt, you have credit card debt, you know what to do that's right, but you're having to make the best of bad choices. My biggest piece of advice right now is to lean on one another, open up about it with some trusted confidants so that you are not
Mm.
dealing with the stress alone because I worry about the crushing weight of financial anxiety and how it is present and it is suffocating so many families, so many of us, the anxiety around it. And I just worry about what that means for us long term. And I
Yeah.
think leaning on each other and communicating is one way to just like help relieve some of that pressure. And it's so hard to do.
Mm,
And that may
mm.
not be what you were looking for, but
No, I think that's
No.
really I think it's really helpful
Mhm.
because like one thing I've worked on, especially in my friendships, relationships, is I in my friendships I like we strive to have salary transparency. Like how
oh,
many
great.
workplaces encourage you to not share your salary and
Yep.
right
Yep.
yeah, I don't know many states, but in California, it's not illegal to talk about. You're just told not to talk about it. You're told you shouldn't talk about it.
Not
And the
illegal anywhere
way
to talk about your salary.
and the
Anywhere.
way discussing it has helped me and my friends advocate for more money. And it's sad because places are you made this point earlier. Places are scared for you to ask for more, and they judge you for asking for more. But girl, it is a hard world. Like you see the cost of inflation. You see how cost of living is rising, and you aren't paying me you aren't paying me. You aren't helping me make up the difference in the middle of what I'm being paid and what it costs to live. And so I appreciate you saying how some people you trust because I and share with them because it's so true. I I don't want to hide in friendship spaces. Like I'm not like I'm not gonna post about it on like social media because that's just a whole different thing. But I don't want to like shrink. I don't want to shrink or be scared to talk about it. One because I know I'm not making it as much as some friends, and some friends I'm making more than. So I want the friends I'm making more than to say, okay, I know what I actually can be worth, and I can like talk about this and advocate advocate for more for myself, and for the friends who are making more, I know how I can advocate for more, or we talk about tools to save money. I I I don't want anybody to feel I don't want anyone to feel like to your point, financial anxiety it's challenging and it's hard, and the more we try to break that down for ourselves, the more chances I feel like we have of actually being more financially successful. Like if I can talk,
Mhm.
if you can talk to your friends or your family about what your finances are and what they look like without judgment, you're in such a better place to say like, no, girl, let me help you out today. Let me let's
Can
make a game
somebody
plan.
please send me a dollar? Yes, send me
Or
a
like
dollar. Mhm.
I've had many like I am definitely somebody who I have a friend who they have sat with me several times and said, "Girl, let's figure out what your going out budget is because you be buying too many coffees in the month." I'm like, "You're right, girl, but like I love a little treat to you. Like the treat to you is good, girl, but you also aren't paying this bill today, so you need to figure out what we can do what you can do instead." And having the people
Mhm.
around you also can sit you down and say, let's discuss what your game plan is for making more or saving more is really
Mhm.
important.
Yeah. Um, so with that being said, we've talked a lot about debt and money and things. So right now, we have to take a break from talking about our student loan debt and the collectors and all the things in between that,
Scams.
because y'all
Ouch.
know I still got them, honey. But when we get
Scams.
back, right, when we get back, we're gonna come back and we're gonna tell you what's popping in our next segment.
Fam, we are black, and this week we're gonna dive into our What's Poppin' segment, talk about what's poppin' and poppin' tags. By poppin' tags, we mean personal finance, girl. Because as we said earlier, we were talking about earlier, we want to discuss tools and strategies to ask for more and advocate for yourself. And Manny was like, "But can't we?" And we're like, "No, actually, it's our show, and we can.
And we
Yeah,
can.
into it, and we will. So let's get
Mhm.
into it, girl." So
Break the
and you
rules.
like knowing that you have a show all about this, take us through how you frame this conversation, how you tee it up, how you share with
Mhm.
people the best ways to advocate for themselves, ask for more, get more.
Mhm.
Right. So I have a 5-step negotiation masterclass that I have been teaching for 4 years now,
Mm.
and it's a 5-step process. It's called the Maker Method because I love alliteration. Because I'm a basic bitch. It's the Mandi Money Maker method.
Period.
And
Yes.
I can go through that really quickly, and I'll encourage y'all if you're listening and you wanna learn more. I'm not the kind of person who can do a sound bite to give you a full thing, so, like, I have, like, a 90-minute masterclass, so you can go to mandymoney.com and get my negotiation scripts and all my other I have more freebies and stuff like
Yes.
that, but I'll run through it really fast. So, the
Mhm.
M in the maker method is to make them excited to hire you, and the I know that the what y'all might expect is for me to say like you have to ask, but if you don't have enough clout and you don't have enough like of a reputation built up as someone who's very good at what they do, other people want you to come work for them, like you're in demand, that you're out there, people are respecting your thought leadership, they're respecting what you're saying about whatever skill set you have or what industry you're in. So are you speaking at conferences? Are you connected well within your industry so that people at
Mm.
multiple
Mhm.
companies, they know like, "Oh, if y'all heard about John, John does that amazing." And you have
Mm.
to build that up, and that takes time. So making them excited to hire you is key. And when
Yeah.
you're doing that well, this is when you know you're doing it well, is if you're getting inbound requests on LinkedIn from recruiters asking you about opportunities, they're coming to you. And if your inbox
Mm.
is dry, no one's coming to you with opportunities, no one is, like, coming to you with jobs you're actually interested in, then there's something that you could be doing more to put yourself out there to make people excited about you. The second thing, the letter A, is for attract multiple offers. So you have no better leverage than when you have multiple companies coming for you or multiple opportunities, coming to your plate. Now, we can't time this all the time. I've had clients who have ended up with 3 offers at one time and managed to get like, have huge bargaining power and manage to negotiate really well. But even your current job can be seen
Mhm.
as an alternative offer. So if you have another company who you've attracted and they're looking for you as talent, you can use the fact that you're currently employed as leverage.
Mhm.
to like go in with more confidence. But
Mm.
power in attracting multiple offers, especially for my shy girls who feel like, oh, I'm introverted. I don't know. I'm shy. I don't want to like, I'm nervous about saying what I'm worth. Well, then let them do it for you. Nothing more than a cold, hard offer that says Mandi is actually worth 95K and y'all are paying her, 65K. All
Yeah.
you got to do is bring that sheet of paper, that email, and be like, so there's this. I would I'm just going to leave this here. Let you either I'm leaving and taking this or you guys can give me more. So that's the attract multiple offers. And if you're following each method, like each step, if you're making people excited to hire you or work with you, you will attract multiple offers. Okay. So
Mhm.
the K is know your value. So this is market research, which if you're attracting multiple offers, that's the best kind of market research. And what you said earlier, when you said, I have my friends, we talk about our salaries. I love that so much. My heart,
Mhm.
um, my heart smiled. So you have to be talking to your peers. You have to be, looking at job postings, see what salaries they have, interviewing as you can, because you'll get like real time market data. No one's going to
Mhm.
sell their house based on what it was worth last year. They're going to look at the comps from today. So think of
Mm,
yourself like
mhm.
an investment property in that way.
Mhm.
I have a client right now who has gotten some feedback during interview process that, oh, the management's really excited about you. They just don't know if this is the right fit for you. And that for me is what the E is all about. Eliminate their objections. And I think there's one thing that we know how to
Mm.
do. It's how to like doubt ourselves and be our own hater.
Mm.
And this is the one
Mhm.
time I'm going to allow you to think about it. So think about what someone may have to object against you in this position so that we can start building a case and like building what you're going to say and practice how you're going to tell your story in a way that eliminates those objections. And then the last step is you get that offer. Pray you get that offer. And then you have to negotiate. You have to rock the counter offer. So I have like a bunch of different methods. Like I teach about the compensation cupcake. You think about your total compensation package as a cupcake, not as just
Mm.
the cake itself. The salary is the cake, but then you have the icing, which can be your signing bonus. It can be
Mhm.
equity in the company. It can be even funds for like professional development. Then you get
Mm.
sprinkles. We have a
Mhm.
401k match.
Mm.
And then other benefits like flexible work from home, like those sprinkles, those additionals. And then the cherry on top for me, I call this like the equalizer cherry. As a Black woman, like we just got to add 10% to whatever it is that we think we are worth, just to make up for the years of being underpaid,
Uh-huh.
and
Uh-huh.
just to hedge against, am I still undervaluing myself? Because it can always use a little bit more. So I add that
Mm.
little equalizer
Mhm.
cherry on top.
Mhm.
That's the maker method. I told you
Yeah.
I'm not short-winded.
No,
All
and it's okay that you're not. I guess the other question I would have is what about folks who are currently in a role and have not
right.
seen a pay bump in, i.e. I'm talking
Mhm.
about me. Like what about people who have been in jobs for a minute and they're worried of like how do I go to my boss, especially when you're in a nonprofit saying like, "Hey, what
Oh,
I'm making is
nonprofits.
not." Huh? Right.
Oh, nonprofits.
What I'm
Nonprofits
making
get
is
away with
not.
so much shit for making people feel like they don't have money, and it may be true
Mhm.
if you have, like, a grassroots smaller, but a lot of nonprofits are still like, they are for profit. They're making
Mhm.
money. But just to answer your question, if you're currently employed, and a lot of people are, this economy is tough. We have not a ton of jobs, and we have a lot of people who are sheltering in place. You have a job, you're scared shitless because people are losing their jobs. We got Doge over here eliminating positions at the federal level, even government jobs aren't safe.
Mhm.
Girl,
And
yeah.
so I
The
get it. The girls
ghetto.
like, "We don't wanna be rocking any boat right now." And so you're seeing
Mhm.
less people move from their jobs, which leaves the people who are unemployed waiting much longer to find a new job. It's extremely frustrating to be in the interview process right now. Then you have people where you're currently at, you're afraid, "Am I gonna ask for more now? Like, what if they get mad at me? And what if I'm penalized for this?" The best thing you can do is to have patience. It's not going to be like it was back in 2021 where you have as many companies coming to you with competing offers, and it's just
Mhm.
not the market it was a few years ago. It may take several months before you get to the place where you have an offer from another company that can give you leverage where you currently work. That being said, I encourage anyone to still have that conversation with the management team. Let them know that
Mhm.
you know that you're being underpaid. this is a great time. This is after Labor Day. If you're listening to this podcast now, this is a great time to start preparing your manager for asking for a raise before you have to wait. Like, don't wait for the annual review time, like in January when you're getting your performance review. Like by that time, in a lot of cases, it may be too late to ask for a significant raise because
Mm.
budgets have to be approved. So I always encourage people, if you're asking for a promotion, especially, or a compensation adjustment, which is like I'm vastly underpaid compared to the market. I need to ask for something significant like 15, 20% raise or more, then ask for that heading into Q4 because your manager is going to need to get that approved and come correct. Like come with a rationalization or an argument for why you're asking for what you're asking for. Do your market research, look at your compensation at other roles at competitors and just
Mhm.
come with those kinds of receipts.
Mhm.
You don't have to have a competing offer. It's amazing if you do. But just the fact that you're looking at other companies and looking outside should give the hint that I am clocking what's going on here and you may lose this talent. Now, it's up to them how they respond to that, but you have to at least ask.
Yeah. And she will. And she will because the way the life is life in right now, mother's going to have to ask for some extra chump change. But no, I
Mhm.
appreciate you sharing that because I think, the two of it is there are people who are like I have friends who have just found new jobs and I think that is, they're thinking, "Oh, I'm just grateful that I've gotten an offer." And so I think that that's kind of where we're at too. People are just like, "Just be grateful that you even got an offer," right? When we're in a world that has no money. For me, the bigger thing is someone who's been in their job for almost 5 years and has not seen a pay bump, it is still very, very hard.
We have a comment from one of the listeners, aka our producing team, and they asked like, "What if you don't have a keeping offers yet?" And like one thing I'm thinking about, and I just would love to get by of that because I think like this one that I've had to do that I've done it in my job, like I let my job know like, "Hey, I'm not." I let my manager know I'm not looking for the jobs. Like I love what I do. I love where I'm at, and I know that I'm not the level that I could be at, and so, where are the ways in which I could get to that level? How can we get there together? Know when your know when your fiscal year is, right? Like, know when the fiscal year ends because you wanna get ahead a few months before too many when budgets are being done to say, "Hey, girl, let's make sure the budget includes my little bump in salary." I think, like, I don't think you always have to and as many said, like it's okay if you don't have keeping offers either. Like, especially if you build trust with your manager or the people that you work with. Like, it's probably like an ongoing conversation. Like, hey,
Yeah.
I love what I do here. I do great work, right? Like, also as Manny said, you also gotta make sure that you that you come correct. Like, I know I do excellent work at my job, and
Uh-huh.
so when I went to my bosses and said, "Hey, I know I do great work. I know y'all love me. I love being here, and I know that the cost of living is a lot. How can we meet this?"
It's yeah,
If you're a nonprofit, check your 990s. You're like, "Hey, I know that," because the 990s often they'll put the top owners over 100,000, the top 100 owners over 100K on your 990 forms. If you're a team of like 10 people, you're like, "Hey, half of y'all are making 120 or more." I have Pete that you'll have great salaries. I'm so happy that you are getting paid what you deserve. That's so amazing. In this period of equity, I also would love to get paid what I deserve too. I would love to know how I can get there as well. Obviously, if you're not in a nonprofit, you may not have access to that kind of type of information. Some places do with their like companies. Some places do pass us the info, but like really like knowing all their mission, knowing what is that you make, what's possibly the pay disparity between you and other people, which is also why I say like talk about without with your coworkers. Like I've had coworkers where we've talked about what our salaries are, and we've been like, oh, like you make less than this person, or I make less than this person, or I make more than this person. That
mm,
and we talk to people in the same role as you in other places, like no, in this role as man said, do your market research, and those are all great tools to come up to the negotiating plate with
mhm.
your managers and teams and stuff. All right, fam. Well, this has been such a thrilling conversation. We got so much to think and talk about, and hopefully, y'all as listeners, and even us as the ones having the conversation, have a lot to learn and work with, and how to
And
afterward
do.
get more. Okay, we gotta take one more break. When we come back, we'll be here with y'all's favorite segment, Yes Man, No Man, Pam's. More in just a sec.
All right, y'all. So this week we are jumping into our yes ma'ams and our no ma'am Pams, and mine are just very, very simple. I see yours, Jordan, and LOL to what you have for your yes ma'ams and your no ma'ams. That is funny. So for me, I'm just simply mine are very, very simple. This week I am for my yes ma'am. I am sending all of my yes ma'am is not what happened to Little Nas X. I am very much in the mind of I'm very much in love with the way that everyone is showing love to Lil Nas X, and I too, even though their music is not for me, it's not for me, babes. I am very much in the mind that you can still love someone and their creativity and their art, even if it's not for you. And I'm just very, very happy to see that people are loving Little
Mm.
Nas X the way that they deserve. So yes, I'm so thankful to that. Now, my no man Pam, we were just talking about this off the record. The
Mhm.
economy, just to I'm gonna do my best not to fall into a rant. I will say this: it is extremely frustrating. I'm in a place right now where I'm extremely frustrated, and I'm trying not to let it get the best of me. Where it's like, and I've maybe talked about this in the past, but it's like you've done everything that the world has told you to do, and and you've played, quote unquote, you've played the game, right? So I went to school for almost 12 years, put myself in a lot of debt over going to school. I have all of this experience. I've done all of these things. I've released a book. Our podcast has won awards. There's all these things that we have done, and now we're being told, oh, there are no jobs, there's no opportunity. And oddly enough, I'm still seeing people get hired for things, but it's not us getting hired for things. So maybe
Mhm.
we'll unpack that later down the line. But
Oh,
I will just say I'm very frustrated in this day and age with the idea that I have the experience, I have all of the things that the world has told me I'm supposed to have, and I still don't feel like I make what I'm supposed to be making, and it's just extremely frustrating. So, I'm just gonna chop that up to the economy, but I'm also in the mind of, I don't really, and I hate that I'm in this place, but it's like, even my husband, he's been like, "Are you afraid that your boss and your coworkers are gonna find out that you're talking so openly about wanting a new job?" And it's like, no, I don't care if other people at my current job know that I'm currently searching. I'm in a place of I'm not being paid what I'm supposed to be paid for
Mhm.
what I do and for the expertise I bring to the job that I do. And I don't think that it's fair. And so I'm saying very
mm,
much openly on the mic that there are a lot of people who are being very underpaid because of them doing good work. And I hate that we're any free Lil Nas X.
Mhm.
That's funny. I just
please.
I'm you got to laugh to keep from crying, but I'm just in this very frustrated state, feeling like I can't get out of the situation that I'm currently in. So the economy is going to be the thing that I point at. Anyway, what are your yes ma'ams and your no ma'ams for this week, Mandy?
Oh, well, this is my first ever. This is not just like a casual week for me. I don't know if I'm ever gonna get to come back and do another no ma'am, yes ma'am.
Yeah.
And
You will.
all I have to say is I'm very proud of you for saying that out loud. I also think you need to flip it, and instead of like saying you're underpaid, start telling people so they can help you, your listeners, start telling folks what it is that you do so you can get another opportunity and
Yeah.
get the F up out of there. I'm gonna get you out
T
of there.
T.
Also,
Yeah.
people love
Hmm.
underpaying us for jobs that are for us and for like in that, we're giving back and we're supporting. Love to
Hmm.
say.
Hmm.
My yes ma'am this week, I'm gonna start with my no ma'am. No ma'am to talking shit about your friends on podcasts and on the internet. And yes ma'am to Nicolandria
Oh.
Hive because Nicolandria Hive, I don't know if you guys ever
I
watched
saw
Love
that.
Island,
I
but I'm
don't, but I'm
saying
familiar.
I
It's
I
not for me,
don't wanna talk
babes.
about any of the other
Not for
things that are
me.
happening right now, so I'm gonna keep it cute and just say yes, ma'am to Nicolandria and no, ma'am to everyone who's hating them and hates
Mm,
love at a
So I have
time like this.
I right, but I
mm,
have a question.
mm.
So
Okay.
all of the is all of the hooting and hollering that's happening right now? in the
Yeah.
last day or so. Is that connected to like is it 2 different seasons? Is it, or is it all connected? Is it the same thing?
Season
Because I
7.
don't know what's
Season
happening.
7.
I just know there's a lot of people are talking about something, but I don't
Yeah.
know what it is because I'm not engaged, if
I
that
would
makes
say at this
sense.
point, not worth your time. Don't get
T,
invested.
I'm
Don't.
not. I have no
Some of
plans
us
to.
have been invested since the beginning of the summer.
Won't
Some of
do
us
it.
need a little bit of outlet. But I just love, and I also love a black woman, a dark-skinned black woman who is securing the
Mm,
bag and a man who
mm.
supports her, and
It's
I
that beautiful black girl and that white boy,
it's
right? That
Alandria.
everybody's
Oh my
talking
god,
about?
yes. It's
I don't
Alandria.
know any of their names.
Yeah.
So,
All you
okay.
gotta know is that it's a woman who America has tried to tear down, lift up, and
T.
bring down, and,
Mhm.
and I really love to see her come out of that situation and be so smart and so business savvy and be setting up
Mhm.
all these multiple revenue streams and really still knowing her worth despite all the hate and all the racism and sexism of it all, and that's always for me gonna be a hell yes, ma'am. I think our
Mhm.
biggest I could talk about anything. I could talk about, what's happening in Palestine. I could talk about the fact that there was another school shooting yesterday and I have babies
Fucking A, man. Yeah.
and there's so much wrong, but the thing that is so beautiful about the space that y'all have created and I've created with Brown Ambition is that I always have a space and a place I can come to like celebrate us and to celebrate
Mhm. Mhm.
the good that is happening in our communities. And so, yeah, it may sound maybe I started it off a little silly. It's like Love Island, it's all that, but nah, Alandria Carthen is that girl. And she is, I just want to let y'all know, y'all need to keep your eye on her. And if you're looking for inspiration for especially what you
Mhm.
were talking about, Professor, about how
Mhm.
we are undervalued and how do you get up and keep going when you're undervalued and how do you find that
Mm,
confidence? This girl, everybody has undervalued her whole fucking life, but she never
T.
has. She's
Mm.
never undervalued herself. And we are seeing the manifestation of what happens when a woman bets on herself, and keeps it going even in spite of all of that hate. And I just fucking love
mm,
I
it.
love that. I absolutely love that.
mhm.
What a moment. All right. Joho, what are your yes ma'ams and no ma'ams for this week?
Whew, so, okay, so my yes ma'ams, it's just silly. It's just Cardi B on trial. Um, Trial funny. I know a few weeks ago we was
It's
out here
not
talking
funny,
about
but it's
Cardi.
funny.
A few weeks ago we were talking about Cardi B in not great ways. But this trial funny because the question, like, I will say this: the way she responded on trial is the way I think I respond on trial because they were because
A
like
different wig every
they
time.
it's just like what is happening and
I
it's
didn't know
so
if it was multiple trials. I'm
it's
like,
so
are these different years?
unserious. Like, it's so unserious.
No.
And she was
But
like,
what
oh,
oh,
okay,
we don't
so
have the
she's on
time.
trial.
But I'm like, what the fuck is even this
So she's
trial?
on trial because when she was pregnant in 2018, she had went to the OBGYN and
Right?
the apparently was an altercation with the security guard at the OBGYN.
And so
Now
the security
Cardi
guard is suing her, essentially.
allegedly. Now Cardi
Allegedly.
now
Okay.
Cardi alleges that there was no actual altercation between them. But someone allegedly, I don't know who said what, but allegedly there were. But so like but part of they're saying, right, is that like Cardi like beat her ass or like attacked her, right? And so Cardi's this thing and is like, I was pregnant. And the prosecutor was like, well, like, what do you do when you're pregnant? And she's like, bitch, I'm pregnant. What do you think I do when I'm pregnant? And everyone started
So
laughing. And she's
stupid.
like, and then, and then she, and then she was like, hello. And then the prosecutor's like, hello, I'm here. And I'm like, bruh, you don't speak her language. Like, you don't know what you don't know
He's
what's
not
happening
picking up
here.
the
So it's just so
colloquialisms.
unserious. So Cardi, girl, I love that she is herself no matter what, right?
Always. Mhm.
Even when she says things are fucked up, like one thing you cannot say is that she's not who she says she is
She's
24/7.
so funny. I
And
hate it, but she's so fucking
I
funny.
live, I live, I live. So yes, you're into
Mhm.
that. But No Man Pam is two things. One is our take on Lil Nas X because like there's so much around it. It's like I don't really know what happened. Like right, like I don't think we really know what happened. A lot of people are like the news was ODing and everyone was like freaking out about that. I love that so many people in the comments are like, y'all have not hung out with a gay at 2 a.m. and like in Reho before. Like his behavior, when I saw the videos, his behavior to me was actually not that wild. I was like, this is my friends on a Saturday evening after doing one too many
Mhm.
poppers. Like it should
Yeah.
just right,
I thought he looked
and
damn
like
good too. Body was
right, I
tea.
was body was tea. I was like,
So
Body
hot.
okay,
tea
out
and
here
those tidy
And
whities.
those, like,
strutting down the
silver
street in a
chaps, what was he wearing?
strutting
Silver
down the
underwear?
street in a little diaper. I
Mm.
was like, okay, and then the white boots. I said, no, you cannot say my boo is on some shit because they knew what they were doing when they came out in the white tighties and the white boots. They said I'm cohesive, so I was just like, I feel
You
like
gotta coordinate, you gotta
okay, I
coordinate.
would say they had coordinate.
Mhm. You gotta
If
coordinate.
you had the wherewithal to coordinate, you're good. You're good. And so
Yeah.
I think like I appreciate people are bringing up conversations like oh Black mental health. That's really important. But like I want to be careful of like I don't want us to make it about things that it isn't until we actually know the full story. And
Right.
so like right please like let's just not make things about other things when like we don't know the full story. That to Serena Williams, I'm so sad to say this. I'm like so it hurts me to say this, but Serena Williams taking GLP-1
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I want everyone to feel like do what you want to do for your own body in your own way. I my struggle is that you have arguably the best athlete of all time
Mhm.
in the world saying I still need to lose weight, and that to me is just like what right it'd be one thing if the conversation was about blood sugar. The conversation was about like diabetic complications, right? But like the messaging was I need to lose 30 pounds, and so I took GLP-1 to help lose the 30 pounds, and like it just it makes me sad because I think because the messaging one is like you can be an athlete all you want and you still gotta take this.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
like it, you like her beautiful body, right? It's not gonna be some like thin tiny body. Like you have a like your body is built you have so much muscle on you. And that and that still that still like is enough for like a defined to like define beauty for yourself. Like I think
Yeah.
I struggle a lot. I've been struggling with that 'cause it makes me sad because I'm like, no, girl, like your body, your choice. You do what you want to do for your health, and like, and if it's actually for your health. But like, I just have a hard time believing in seeing that one of the world's best athlete, if not the world's best athlete in the world, still like it still has to take Ozempic Wegovy.
It's yeah, the game of what if Serena Williams is having to say, "I gotta take a GLP-1 to lose
People will
weight,"
say there's no hope for
what
me. Like people will
where's the
say
hope for
that
me? Yeah, where's the hope for me? I
That's
don't
what she
know.
wants because it's her man's,
because it's
company.
He is an
Well,
It's
investor. He
about
is
the
an
money,
investor and
honey.
owner. Cause
Yeah.
what a
I'm just
time
like
to be
Serena,
alive.
what? Like wait, when I saw that, I said, girl, you cannot tell me that you what? There's no fucking way. Like it's just, it makes me sad. It makes me sad.
But again, also it's money, right?
Yeah,
if they can with Serena, and that's what I've had to cut. Like that's the thing I've come to like accept that the regression of folks wanting to go back to the thin is in and take this thing and lose the weight and all that. It's a moneymaker. It's a way if we can keep reminding people that their body is not perfect, right?
Mm.
It's
Mhm.
gonna keep the money coming in. And that's what it is. People are like, we're regressing. And it's like, no, we're not regressing. What people are focusing on is capitalism. Folks are in the mind of if we can get people to keep thinking that their body is never going to be perfect and GLP-1s is going to be the only way for them to keep their body quote unquote perfect, then that's money in people's pocket. So it's a marketing ploy. It's all marketing.
yeah.
And I hate that we're here. But it is what it is. To the girls who are taking, their Ozempic shots like me, for their blood sugar to keep their blood sugar under control. Shout out to y'all. It's not
And it's
easy, and that's what I keep telling people.
working.
It works,
Yay,
but
medicine for the
also
right reasons.
right,
Okay.
medicine works for the right reasons, but also we need to also be having longer and deeper conversations about um the mentality of quick fixes, things that don't just love your body. Just love your body.
Mm.
That's really all it is, honey. Just love your body. Please
Mm.
do. That's the
Well,
message
too
of
many
today.
of us were raised by mothers who didn't, and so, like,
That
we're
part.
just
Family
Girl.
who didn't
maybe
love
the
our
next
bodies.
generation will,
That's
because
Girl,
child, I was
that's
maybe.
raised
I
the
by
next
pray. I
try being
conversation
a
pray.
Black
is.
woman raised by a white mama in the
Woo!
South, like,
Girl.
Girl.
whoever
Girl,
loses the most weight, gets a prize at the end of the summer,
that
and what do you
part.
Mm.
mean you wanna go to the gym? Your thighs are already big enough, like, come on now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
It's hard to learn to love yourself,
Oh,
but
here
this
for a
generation,
girl.
the babies,
we
I'm
gotta
worried
help
about
them.
Olympia. Is Olympia gonna love herself? You know?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I
Okay.
think she is a good mom. I think she'll say it in the right way. We just gotta, like, I think, be good examples for the
We
children.
have to for the babies. We
Mm.
got to. With that being said, this episode has been so full of so many amazing gems, and I am just so grateful, Mandy, for you being here. For those of you who want to send your thoughts, your feedback, you can send us an email over at blackfatfempod@gmail.com. We love getting your feedback. We love hearing from you all listeners, and we know that there, like I said, there was just a wealth. You see what I did there? A wealth of knowledge in this episode, and so we're just so grateful. We would love to hear from you, and we want to hear your feedback. With that being said, you can also visit us online by interacting with our posts on Instagram and Blue Skies and Threads, and also down to the YouTubes by using the handle Black Fat Femme Pod. Mandy, where can the dolls find you?
Well, I hope the dolls will come listen to Brown Ambition. I hope y'all will
Mhm.
come on, Brown. I'd
Yes.
love to have y'all on. It's a good time.
I'd
Yes,
love to be
yes.
on. Yes.
We work with
Yes, we
y'all's
love.
busy schedules.
Mhm, mhm,
Make sure my
mhm.
husband's not here making noise. Love to have y'all on. But Brown Ambition, we have 3 episodes per week, so you can catch us on Wednesday, Friday,
Ooh.
and Sundays. You can also go if you were more interested in, like, the career coaching, offerings that I have, and negotiation coaching, you can go to Mandi Money, and it's Mandy with an I, mandymoney.com, and check out all
Mhm.
my essentials there. And I have a couple of spots left in my VIP one-on-one coaching. I have, like, a very few clients that I work with one-on-one, so if you wanna
Mm,
apply for that, you can find that application at mandymoney.com as well. And yeah, I'm just gonna be out here in these streets fighting for us, making sure we earn our wealth, and it's been
mhm,
such a thanks for sharing space with me, and,
mhm.
I just adore all y'all are doing, and
Thank you,
Thank
baby.
you. Thank you for
yeah.
We
being here with
love
us.
that. We love to have you here. Queen Joho, where can the dolls find you this week, babe?
Lovies, every week you can find me at Joho Daniels across all socials. My website, jordan If not, there you can find me staring at the blank page before me and opening up the dirty window so the sun can illuminate the words I cannot find. Okay?
Mhm.
Reaching for stepping in the distance, so close I can
Yes.
almost taste it, releasing my
Mhm.
inhibitions, feeling the ring on
Mhm.
my skin.
And it is raining in San Diego
And it's
today, so
raining,
yes, you
so
you can go
exactly.
out and feel the rain on your skin. Yes. Release your
That's a good
inhibition.
hype song before you negotiate, no lie.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
Yes,
yes. The
yes.
rest is still unwritten on my
I would do
contract
bitch
where
but
you
have
need
my
to give me more
money.
money. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. The rest is still unwritten. As for me and mine, you can find me down to the www.drjohnpaul.com tour. I did want to say quickly, shout out to NAFA. I was hanging, I literally NAFA, uh, Tigress, everybody down to just this past weekend. We were up in San Fran slash Oakland area. We were in Alameda. I'm at Books Inc. And we got a chance to talk about our books and the work that we're doing around trying to keep this world from being locked into their way. And it was just such a beautiful experience. So thank you to everybody who came out for that. But with that being said, you can also find me on socials at Dr. John Paul. You can go buy my book. That's one way you can also keep some money in some folks' pockets, is making sure you buy my book. And if you want to see my ABC spot, I'm just going to keep plugging that because I am so proud of it. It's Our America, Who I Am Meant to Be, where I get to celebrate the show and the work that we're doing around Black Fat Femmes throughout the country. So I'm just very, very grateful for that. And other than that, you can catch me making my way downtown, walking fast. Faces pass as I'm homebound.
Ta-na-na-na.
Yes,
Ta-na-na-na.
yes. Staring blankly Hadley, making my way through the crowd. Yes, yes. So with that being said, we want to thank our super producers, Joey Pat and Bei Wang, for handling all of the logistics, and everyone down to iHeartMedia who keeps the show up and running. We also want to thank our wonderful editor, Chris Rogers, because without him, we would have no audio and we would have no visuals for the tubes of you. With that being said, please stay black, fat, femme, and fabulous. And remember what, Joho?
We may not be your cup of tea, girl, but it's PSL season, so get yourself some pumpkin spice latte to get together, okay?
Yes, girl. Yes, yes. As I wrap myself in my fall gowns. Yes, and I put on my boots and I tip down the streets like Taylor Swift, being basic in all its grandiosity. With that being said, I love us for real. We'll see you next week. Bye, y'all.
Bye.